Greetings and welcome in once again. We are back for our 16-team draft. Joel will be joining us in just a minute. We all kind of rushed to do things. I know we just crushed dinner real fast between the last one and this one. We just finished our 10-team draft. Just about to start the 16-teamer. This one will take a while.
Yeah, I don't think that's totally accurate. You guys are about to start the 16-teamer. I still got a while to go.
Well, I'm at 14. I'm not much before you. So before we start, we are 56 seconds from the start. Let me go. Joel is going to jump on. We'll go over the draft order real quick. Joel, we are rolling. So we're going over the draft order now. We'll be starting here in about 40 seconds with the draft. First is Jibat, which is a Letterkenny reference if you don't know what it is. 2, No Quitters, Go Getters. 3 is Team Jacks Hammers. 4 is Forklift Certified. 5 is Out of Nowhere. 6 is going to be Joel once he logs in. 7 will be Pitter Patter, another Letterkenny reference. 8 will be World Ending Talent. 9 will be Swedish Meatballs, who will be changing the name as this is Nate's new team. He is joining the league due to an inactive player. 10 is Stay Mahomes. 11, $5 Footlong. 12 is Hell's Kittens. 13 is GMS, 14 is myself, South Florida Sharks, 15 is Soul Boys, and 16 is Julian Peddleman, who will be waiting quite a while.
Why you gotta be so fucking awkward? Can I swear on here?
We try and keep the language PG.
Oh,
I mean, we've dropped the occasional. Oops.
Yeah, occasionally.
It's only Facebook and
well,
YouTube.
if it's a Letterkenny quote, am I good to go?
I mean, that's not well. Jibat is give your boys a tug. We'll just say that one. So we paraphrase on this show.
Get that man a puppers.
Get that man an effing puppers. That is absolutely right.
All good. Good.
After the ginger ales are gone, that's when we start drinking the real stuff. That's when we get into the hard stuff, like the twisted teas that are in the fridge right over there.
The ginger ale PAs instead of IPAs.
Yeah.
All right, so pick number 1. He's deep in thought.
Yeah. Well, he's not online yet.
He's not online.
I did send him a reminder yesterday and just a reminder a few minutes ago, about 10 minutes ago, to see if he was going to jump on. He may or may not. Right now, he's one of 4 that is not online, which for a 16-team league, not too bad. It's very hard to get all 16 on. And keep in mind, last year he finished in the top 3, missed the first half of the draft, this player. So
fair enough. Well, I think
he is 10 seconds from being forced into Christian McCaffrey.
Which is
he's going to have another 20 minutes before his next pick to possibly get on, as Christian McCaffrey does.
And the crowd goes wild.
Go number 1. Dalvin Cook, number 2. Alvin Kamara, number 3. So far, nothing too surprising here.
Yeah, right on schedule.
No, so far, not the Pat Mahomes bomb we had in the 10 in pick number 2, but this is a deeper draft. You can't take as many risks. We were talking all week. You want to take your sure things early. You want to take someone you know is going to be good outside of injuries that you can't predict.
Would you have a Travis Kelce bomb before a Pat Mahomes bomb in the 16 team?
Yes.
I would hope so.
Yes. Honestly, the 16-teamer is a perfect example of just wait at the quarterback. There is not enough talent at the running back and wide receiver position to go around. There is enough talent quarterback to do so. Tight end, if you don't go to the top 3, you are going to be hurting a little bit. But
Derrick Henry off the board.
Derrick Henry at 4. That's about right. Not necessarily where I would have went with that one. I think our number 5 pick is where I would have went. We'll see if that comes to fruition here shortly. Oh! He joined, but he was like, yeah, Zeke Elliott 5. That's where I would have went to 4.
Yeah, give your Pauls a tug, bud.
Yeah.
You got a while to wait.
Yeah. Jibat just jibatted himself. But the poor man was forced into Christian McCaffrey and at least got online. So we're now up to 13 active participants as Nick Chubb goes number 6. So right now, everything straight in order. Aaron Jones is number 7, right where they're expecting. So no bombs, no surprises, nothing crazy yet.
Jonathan Taylor at 8.
A little aggressive, but not terrible. Pat Mahomes at 9. Same person who took it, though, in the 10-teamer. So not a huge shock there.
Followed by Tyreek Hill.
Okay.
Chiefs are wild.
Chiefs are definitely going crazy right now. Devontae Adams, Saquon Barkley, Stephon Diggs, Austin Eckler, and Travis Kelce. The next one's on the board. And this time I do at least have a board here I can look at, so I don't have to keep turning over here to give what's on the docket, other than when I make my picks. So at pick number 11, $5 footlong, one of the originals, goes with Saquon Barkley. Again, nothing too crazy to this point. Only so much we can do until something crazy happens. It's just kind of vanilla. And Devontae Adams at 12, that's where he should be going.
My man.
If not earlier. So we'll see who is going to be left for me. I do know I'm debating between two guys, and they're both there. It's not going to be Kelce. I'm going to take a shot again. I did something dumb last year with Drake. I'm going to take Gibson here.
Antonio.
It was either that or Eckler, and maybe I left Eckler for you. Maybe. No, not so much. He went right before you.
Okay. Well, way to jinx me.
So what you have as options is Kelce, Ridley, Hopkins, Najee Harris, Joe Mixon, who you said in the last one you were pretty high on. Mm-hmm. You got to remember you are going to have 30 picks between 17 and 48.
Yep. So I am. I'm going to play this a little differently than I normally would. I think to win the 16-teamer, you really need some serious shots, and you need them to hit.
Oh.
So I am going to take a shot on a rookie in the first.
Najee Harris at 16.
And then who I perceive to be a difference maker at the position in Travis Kelce.
Okay, so 0 wide receivers in the first 2. Not a bad strategy. You do have the number 1 tight end of the position. Najee Harris, unknown. It could be a great pick. Could be a whiff.
Yeah, like I was saying for Mixon on the first podcast, there's only so many 3-down workhorse running backs, and I think Najee just might be one.
And you know what? You are right about that. There is only a handful of 3-down workhorse running backs. So I am going to
take Joe Mixon.
Oh
my God.
I feel sick. It's not the salad. You're actually right on this. There's only so many, and we're already getting into the point where Chris Carson is one of your best running back options still left on the board.
Mixed team, one of my favorites so far. Devontae Adams, Clyde Edwards-Helaire.
Yeah, that's not a bad team.
Start.
Again, at the end of the second round, you want to look at your team and go, I'm solid. You don't want to be, I have a great team. I'm good. You don't want to be like, oh no, I did something wrong. So when I'm looking at someone like Helaire and Adams, I'm comfy. When you look at, you took Kelce and Najee, a little bit of risk, but very comfortable with Kelce. You're not putting yourself behind the 8 ball. Carson is a second-round running back in this league. That is not where he should be going in most leagues. But in this one, it makes a lot more sense because the talent pool is just not there.
I think Carson is personally pretty underrated. That is a team that wants to run the ball. He's been consistently great, and I don't blame that guy at all.
No, Greg with the Chris Carson pick. Can't blame him. I know he's high on Chris Carson. Always has been. Always probably will be. Had him last year. The injuries were the big hiccup. He was great when he was on the field, but he missed a lot of time. But you're starting already. Let's go and just kind of explore what's out there at the running back position still. David Montgomery, J.K. Dobbins, James Robinson might be the prize left out there. Miles Sanders, DeAndre Swift, who dropped mightily in our last draft, Josh Jacobs, Damian Harris, Darrell Williams, Mike Davis. I think that's the last of the surefire starters, and you got Kareem Hunt and Myles Gaskin a little bit later, Chase Edmonds. Then you start getting to your, okay, they're going to play, but how much, when, if they're young guys. So, all right, you at least got one. I think the running backs are going to dry up in the next round or two completely, and then wide receiver is going to be wild. So, Joel, you are on the clock.
Going to go with a bit of a risky pick here.
A.J. Brown, pairing it with Nick Chubb. I don't hate it. I don't mind it. I maybe, if I was going to go wide receiver, would have kicked it around either A.J. Brown or Terry McLaurin at this point. So I can't really fault you on that pick there.
Yeah, I like it. You got some high upside, and I think you have a very safe running back in the first.
Yeah. Safe running back. I think A.J. Brown's a pretty safe receiver, too.
He can be a little boom bust, I think, especially with Julio there now.
All right, now
not a total target share.
Now we've got an interesting one. Kyle Pitts at 28. Before Waller, before Kittle.
Shoot
if
your
I'm
shot.
remembering this correctly. Kittle's still on the board. Looking for Waller. Waller may have gone. Yes, Waller gone. Kittle not, but Pitts before Kittle.
I heard a stat. I'm going to get it wildly wrong, but if
That's what we're here for.
Kyle Pitts matched the greatest rookie tight end season of all time in fantasy, he would not deliver on his 5th round draft capital.
It's just a tough thing to do for a rookie wide receiver coming in.
So that would be stand and not deliver.
Yeah.
Well, he's a very talented kid, and Matt Ryan is certainly no slouch. So.
No, he can get the ball to anybody. I think it's going to be a decent year. But again, to match the best rookie tight end season of all time would be falling short of where he's drafted.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the issue. If you're going to go tight end there, wouldn't you rather go with Kittle, who at least has, at one time, the most receiving yards in the season by anybody at that time? So, J.K. Dobbins off at 29, not bad.
Yeah, I'd go Kittle. I mean, with Waller off the board, I think Waller might be a little safer than Kittle, but
I like Waller better than Kittle for sure. Waller already gone. If I'm dipping my toe into the tight end pool, he already had Zeke Elliott. He could have really got a good wide receiver or a solid number 2 running back. Dobbins going just after him. Still a couple guys on board that are solid. In addition to Zeke, could have been a good thing. He may or may not have just shot himself in the foot at wide receiver or running back because he went early on a reach at tight end.
Here's a good question for the both of you, since you tend to have 10 teams and then you have a 16 team. How much of a difference in pressure is it for your picks when you're talking about a 16-team league when every single pick is almost as if it were 2 picks, as opposed to the 10-team league, which is sort of like, okay, I could go this guy, I could go this guy, and it doesn't really matter quite as much.
Yeah, I was saying to Ryan earlier, not even with it just being a 16 team, but being right on the turn of 16, I feel remarkably little pressure because I don't have to play the ADP game. I don't have to worry about what the guy in front of me is going to do, the guy behind me is going to do. I just pick players I like.
Yeah.
And, I mean, certainly if you don't hit, you're not going to win. But I think this is a league where you're going to have to take shots. And you're going to have to hit on them if you want to pull through. It's just too deep.
Yeah, and for example, Nate is picking number 9. He said, "Wow, I'm effing 9th out of 16. This is going to be brutal because you have to plan every single pick. You have to kind of guess where we're at the back end of the draft. You go get your guy. Almost without fail, anybody you're considering will not be there at your next pick, or at least for me, after my second pick, it's not going to be there." So I'm looking at Joe Mixon going, well, I'm not going to get someone of that caliber later. I got to go do it now. I'm going to do it.
Interesting start for team number 1 here. You go CMC, then you go Keenan Allen, Mike Evans. I think it's sort of like an anchor RB strategy.
Yeah, that's what this was looking like.
You have that one guy to plug in there. You have 2 really safe, efficient wide receivers. I like the start. I don't mind it.
Yeah, I mean, you get the number 1 running back off the board right away. It gives you this option because Christian McCaffrey can do the work of 2 running backs when healthy.
Mm-hmm.
And
he can do, a running back and a wide receiver.
Yeah. So now you have 2 solid wide receivers. You can possibly get another running back in the 4th or 5th round. Maybe not someone you're ecstatic about, but maybe Swift falls again.
Yeah,
maybe
I mean, it's
you get something that's a boom or bust thing.
It's a PPR league. If you can grab somebody to throw in that number 2 spot that catches a few passes every week, and you can just rely on Christian McCaffrey for your upside.
There goes Lamar.
Lamar Jackson off the board. The second quarterback off the board before Murray, before Allen.
And
George
there's Kittle.
Okay. Henry, Dobbins, and Kittle. Don't hate that start.
I think that's a pretty solid spot to grab Kittle, especially in a 16 team.
Yeah, and I'm looking at this pick here. This is the one that had Zeke and Pitts. depending on where this pick goes, they're going to be hurting at one of the positions. They go running back, which I think would be smart because there's more depth at wide receiver. You're lowering your top end. But if you don't get a number one wide receiver, or if you do here, then you don't have that anchor RB strategy because you don't have the strength at all the other positions.
Mm-hmm.
And
Well, it'll be interesting to see. He's obviously putting some thought into it.
yeah, he is right now showing up as not in the draft lobby. So 35 seconds to get back in and make a pick. Maybe just connection issues, hopefully, something you can just recover from quickly. If
That's
not, the next one off the board automatically looks like it would be Terry McLaurin, which...
That's when it's not good to live up to your team name.
Yeah. So if he ends up with Terry McLaurin, it's a solid wide receiver 1 and a running back 1 with a possible tight end issue, but it's not something I'd be loving. But that's probably where it's going to go. Is he's down to 2, 1, and TJ Hawkinson.
Ooh.
2 tight ends.
Oh, so he went 2 tight ends. I know it's only the 5th pick of the 3rd round, but I think we have somebody who may be going for the bottom of the league. Not that I'm down on Pitts and Hawkinson, but if you're going to take Pitts and you think you need Hawkinson, you shouldn't have taken Pitts.
I'm actually higher on Hawkinson than Pitts. So as far as I'm concerned, he's looking up now.
I took him in the 10-team league because I'm like, oh, you know what? Can't do a whole lot worse. Nick Chubb, A.J. Brown, Terry McLaurin. That's a solid start for Joel there.
Here we go.
Cooper Kupp, CeeDee Lamb, and Aaron Jones.
You don't want wide receiver depth? I'll take wide receiver depth. Thank you.
Taylor, Carson, and Sanders, all RB strategy. It's hard to argue that because you know when it gets back to him in the 4th round, the running backs are shot for the most part.
Yep, and I like a lot of the wide receivers in this range. So,
yeah.
And we've got the DeAndre Swift quandary slowly approaching once again.
He dropped about 30 to 35 picks in the last draft. Did not go for a while. We'll see what happens with him here.
That's when you almost need the do.
Yeah, so $5 foot long up.
You can hum the Jeopardy theme song. You don't have to worry about the MCA, right? You know.
No, I'm not humming the Jeopardy theme song until Aaron Rodgers is officially named the host.
Teach your own. I still think the best time of the best thing he did on Jeopardy was just not care at all about what the contestants had to say. Alex Trebek used to get really intimate and, oh, that's really interesting. Tell me more about that. And Raj would be like, I found sunken treasure off the coast of Mexico and became a millionaire, then donated to charity and fixed world hunger. He'd be like, great. What do you got? That was my favorite thing about him hosting Jeopardy.
These stories were not that interesting.
No, but they could have been. And I think he would have reacted exactly the same way.
One of them was like, oh, yeah, I trained to run a marathon and then didn't finish it. Like, what's he supposed to do there?
Better luck next time.
One foot in front of the other.
Like, apparently he didn't train that hard. I don't know.
All right, so we are down to 10 seconds on this one. We do have a few auto drafts, I'm sure. It's normal in a big draft like this. So, State Mahomes, Tyreek Hill, Darren Waller, and Josh Jacobs. Josh Jacobs is a number 1 running back.
Josh Allen, quarterback.
Allen off the board.
I'm
and
interested
then
to see
Amari Cooper.
Amari Cooper.
I just thought of something flying. Aren't you glad that because you're a commissioner, you don't have to give out hugs every time somebody is picked?
Yeah, I don't have to pretend I care about other people making picks. It's great. So I took Robert Woods. I think he's got a lot of upside. I needed a receiver. Not my favorite RB1, but DeAndre Swift off after me. Kind of was hoping DeAndre Swift might fall and take him at that next pick, but 2 picks here for Chris. We'll see what he does here. Already with Najee Harris and Travis Kelce.
There were certainly players I was looking at, Robert Woods being high among them.
You've been high on Woods for years. I know that.
Yep.
That's one I do know. We don't like giving out the trade secrets to each other very often, but that one, that's been there for a while.
Yeah. So one thing I am going to do, something we were talking about earlier, somebody I'm confident in starting at my wide receiver 1 position. I'm going to throw Deontay Johnson. That might be a bit of a reach, but I got 32 picks before I get to go again.
Yeah.
So
At this point, get your guy.
I'm going to go for my guys. Another guy I have a lot of faith in, even though they just traded for another running back, Darnell Henderson. I like the Rams running game.
That's interesting. If he is the starter, great pick. If he is not, then you run a little bit risky.
I think he's an electric back, and he's going to get enough work to give me a solid RB2 performance. And here we go.
You got to know when to hold him and know when to fold him.
Pretty much.
DJ Moore off the board, another guy I was looking at, but I didn't want to go 2 wide receivers.
That means we now have two DJs left in the draft.
This is where it's tough because I don't love the running backs outside of a reach, but I have to pick. I feel like I got to get another running back. And there's not a lot here I love, which is a problem, obviously. You know what? It's PPR. It's my running back 3. Let's take a shot with Kareem Hunt. I think he's going to get the reception numbers that Chubb will not. They were both very viable last year, even when both were healthy. When Chubb went down, Kareem Hunt was a top 5 back. I was considering Damian Harris, but I just can't trust the Patriots running game.
Yeah,
too many times.
With Hunt, you always run that possibility too that another team ends up trading for him if their guy goes down.
Yeah,
and he gets himself a.
There's a lot more upside to Kareem Hunt than downside.
I would agree with that.
So we have a team: Stephon Diggs, DeAndre Hopkins, Tyler Lockett, a wide receiver. Great. Damian Harris, number 1 running back for this team.
Yeah,
Mike Davis.
With a modified 0 RB start to
modified. In this deep of a league, you can't go much more than a modified because you can't go more than 4 rounds. Because after this, it's Well, do you want? We mentioned the last one. If you can get Javonte Williams as your number 4, that's a good place to be. But you're getting to the point where if you don't have a running back, he is in the top few to be your number 1. And that's where I think you're going to run into the problem. That might be what sinks him. He won the league last year, if I'm remembering correctly. So not going to question the judgment, but interesting that he would be the number 1 for somebody. Damian Harris. Let's see. Who to highlight? Pat Mahomes, DK Metcalf, David Montgomery so far. It's an interesting start. Any thoughts on where that team should be going next?
I would personally have to stick with running back.
Yeah, I think you got to get that second one here.
If you believe DK can be that number 1 guy, then I think you got to go get somebody to back up Montgomery.
I think, I think DK will for sure be a wide receiver 1, especially in a 16-team league. So you've got that guy you can count on in that position. Pat Mahomes, going to be a top 5 quarterback if he stays healthy. Montgomery maybe has a good year. I mean, he had a good second half last year. Remember, he had that horrific groin injury. I think it was the preseason last year. Took some time to get over, and when he was finally healthy, he kind of went off running.
Yeah. Saying Pat Mahomes will be a top 5 running back if he stays healthy is fine, but if he's not the number 1 quarterback
at 9 overall,
that first round pick doesn't even come close.
Yeah. So let's take a look. Really, nobody dropping like crazy. Only a handful of people passed their ADP. Julio Jones, Adam Thielen, Kyler Murray, and Mark Andrews right now past ADP, along with Dak Prescott. And
I think
nothing really crazy.
Like I said, I think Julio Jones is a tough one to gauge.
Yeah, I expect to see Julio drop unless we have an auto pick because that would be the next one up. So it may or may not happen. Let's see who. Yeah, we still only have 3 auto picks, and Stan Mahomes is kind of on or off because he's working. Good to know where these people are. And it looks like an auto pick from Mahomes. This will probably be Julio again. Kyler Murray. Fill day starting position. I don't hate it. If you're going to get an early quarterback, that's not bad. Andrews the pick after. So quarterback, receiver, running back, tight end.
It's
bold strategy.
It's really tough to build a good roster if you go for early tight end and early quarterback. I think you can go for one. Going for both really just kills your depth.
Yeah, you've got 9 and 10 doing that strategy.
Mm-hmm.
So, Joel, you are up next. Anything in particular you're looking for?
Right now, I'm just looking for another running back because I know I've got wide receiver 1 and 2. Now I need to have.
Yeah, he's talking.
I can't hear him.
You can't hear him. I can hear him just fine.
Okay.
Did your headphones die or something?
I don't know. I don't think so.
Oh,
no.
He may not be able to hear you, but I can hear you just fine.
Can you hear me now?
Yes? No. All right.
You say yes, I say no.
You got about 15 minutes to your next pick if you want to try and find another set of headphones. Yep. So yeah, we'll do that. We'll unplug these. So Joel, you said looking for a running back. I do know you've been pretty happy to get Gaskin in some places. He's still on the board. Is that the guy you're really looking at here if he gets to you in 19 seconds, or do you have someone else in mind?
I was looking at somebody else, but can't knock the possibility of
Here's Robbie
going
Anderson.
for Gaskin.
So Gaskin, yeah, I was someone I was considering at my last pick, where I took Kareem Hunt. Was Myles Gaskin. He's got that point per reception upside. So we will see where this goes. Now we're back to someone who did something a little weird. Two tight ends in the first 3 rounds.
I was going to toss it out to Chris and you, but he can answer once he gets his headphones problem resolved. Kind of curious as to these 2 quarterbacks who is going to have a better year of passing. Do you think it's going to be Kyler Murray or Lamar Jackson?
Better year of passing, I think, will be Kyler Murray. I think the better fantasy option will be Lamar Jackson because the extra running and he gets those big touchdowns, especially have any kind of bonuses in your league. But with that being said, it's very, very close. I just don't think in this type of a league you can really go and get that quarterback early without putting yourself behind the 8 ball somewhere else. But for what it's worth, I would say Lamar over Kyler total, but for passing only, Kyler Murray.
Okay, and a non-fantasy question, but an equally important one. Burger King or McDonald's?
Wendy's, for one. Definitely Wendy's.
So you're going off the board totally with the choice there.
Yeah, I would say Wendy's, McDonald's, then Burger King. Very, very early. Very, very easily. All right, someone's lost their damn mind. Out of nowhere. Zeke Elliott, Kyle Pitts, TJ Hawkinson, Rob Gronkowski.
Well, we're shocked because it's a former Patriot, and of course, it's Edwin. So,
It's
hashtag no shock.
tight ends. It's 3 tight ends, though.
Okay.
That's where it's weird. I don't mind you want to reach for Gronk. I don't mind you want to go and get Kyle Pitts or Hawkinson on their own.
I thought we were the all crazy all the time, folks.
Yeah. 3 is going to be a problem for him.
I've also heard from Schoolhouse Rock that 3 is a magic number, but I promise I won't sing the song.
Yeah. I think I hear him coming back down. So we'll get his reaction to that last pick and specifically what it did to that team. And
like Jim Rome says, react to me.
Yeah, that last pick is utterly confusing. So to catch you up, we have someone who's drafted 3 tight ends now. So let's get you in so you can hear what Joel's going to say.
The appropriate soundbite for that would be, damn, they're in a tight spot.
Yes. So Zeke, love the pick. Kyle Pitts, a little risky. TJ Hawkinson and Rob Gronkowski in addition to Pitts is just downright.
You think maybe this is like a draft and trade sort of
it may be. But frankly,
strategy.
Let him die. I hate to sound cruel, but if you're going to draft 4, 5, 6 tight ends and hope to trade them away for parts later, nah, sorry, man. You got to drown. You put the cement shoes on. You waded into the water. You can't blame me for the wave that comes through and
Well,
knocks
what
you
if
out.
in a 16-team league, your entire roster isn't perfect and you get a low score at the tight end position?
It's possible, but you know what? I think I'd rather have a low score at the tight end position than have 4 tight ends I can't play.
Tell you, I don't think it's a great strategy, but as a Kelsey owner, I'm okay with him doing it.
Yeah, it does make your position of power that much stronger. Because now, if I take one in the next round, it's not going to be as good as what he's got on his bench, most likely.
Are tight ends available to be started in the flex?
Yes. So he can't play 2. So if that's his strategy, he thinks, hey, I can play Pitts and Hawkinson. They're going to be studs. They're going to be great. Then I've got Gronk as a backup. That's bold. That's real bold because his number 1 wide receiver, if nobody takes another receiver right now, would be Adam Thielen. If it gets back to him with no one else touching one.
That's bold until they have the whack type week.
Yeah. Yeah, it's I don't know if Adam Thielen's going to get back to him. We'll see. But we are through 4 rounds. It's been half an hour. So snail's pace, we are on pace. I said it was going to be about a 2-hour draft. We are exactly on that pace right now.
As I'm curious, Chris, if you were on either the giving or the receiving end last year of that Alvin Kamara game against Minnesota, and I'm sure you know which one I'm talking about. That you just sort of lost track. After a while, it was just to infinity and beyond.
You know, I was receiving, and I still almost won.
Ow!
A lot of good players behind it.
I believe it was our family league. Devontae Adams had a 2 touchdown, 150 something yard.
Yep.
I had a bunch of players go bananas. And
not quite Alvin Kamara bananas, but good enough to keep you in it.
Yep. And I came up just short of that 6 TD game.
What was your margin of loss on that puppy?
I want to say I was within 10 points.
Ooh, I can probably look it up.
Yeah.
I'll see if I can find it.
All right, Javonte Williams finally off the board. He's a question mark player for sure.
In this one, if you can get him as your number 3, that's not the worst thing ever. Let's see how many you lost by. It was in week, I guess, 15, 14?
No, it was in the playoffs, I think. What was it, 15?
Playoffs?
No, it's not going to show. Oh,
we're just trying to win a game here.
Yeah, it's not going to show me.
You can't see in the playoffs?
Not on here. I could probably get on the you might be able to look it up on there, yeah. So, anyways, we'll talk a little bit. Tyler Boyd off the board. Out of nowhere, we'll see if they take a 4th tight end. I hope not, just because why would you? But Odell Beckham. We still have only 1 running back for the team that took Christian McCaffrey.
It reminds me of that one draft you were telling me about where someone took like all kickers.
Oh yeah, that was last year. We're not going to get too far into that because yeah, that was fun. Anyways, we're trying to find it. League champion. There's got to be a way to find it.
Yes, the ever intuitive Yahoo interface.
Oh no, this one's NFL.com. So we got better.
The ever intuitive NFL interface.
Not bad. Yeah, 11 points.
Yep. Oh no, that wasn't the week. Kamara only had 15.
Oh, so you weren't on the receiving end?
No. It was just a different week.
No. Yeah, that was a championship week. That was a bad week to have it. Let's see. So, what are the odds here, do you think, of another tight end for this guy? 4 out of 5?
I was on the receiving end in a different league, I guess. I thought it was the family league. Yeah.
So, let's see. 3, 2, 1.
Noah Fant.
It's getting comical, honestly. This has to be a draft and trade. Or he went in and just said it a certain way, which I don't. I got nothing on this one.
Maybe when he was starring players or whatever, he just started at tight end and went down, picked the ones.
Oh,
he
he's like, I'm gonna queue some guys, and yeah, he's only
Yeah.
getting his tight ends now. I don't know. It's not. I would say it's a bold strategy, but it's not going to work. This is not. Let's see how it goes. This is going to be flaming inferno of failure. I think it's all right. Someone has to come in last, and it's good that someone's going to jump out in front of this.
Well, part of me, I'll be nice, and I know Tom Brady wants to fall to Edwin.
So Herbert at 70, near where he went in the 10-team league. I think
Second league in a row, I'm going just incredible. Hopefully, it will be just incredible.
5, 6. He was the 7th pick off the board. I just think it's too much.
quarterbacks
I
are
overpaid.
starting to go. So
Yeah, you're going to see a quarterback run here at some point soon. Personally, I don't want to be a part of that yet. It's the 5th round. There's still some talent out there. There's still a lot of potential.
I would normally wait, but when you're dealing with this deep a league, I'm a little bit gun shy on that.
Yeah, I get that concern. There is only so much out there. But at the same time, it's one pick that you're not going to be able to use somewhere else.
in changing topics, I think Chase Edmonds is a nice value pick in the 5th round here, where running back talent really isn't there to be had. Raheem Mostert, another good one off the board.
Yeah, we're starting to run down on the startable running backs, I would say.
Hell's Kittens going with the Adams-Rogers stack.
That's not bad.
That is my man right
That
there.
is not bad. And at this point, I think I need to go after what I think will be a starting running. No, I got 3. I think, no, this has to be a wide receiver for me. And I'm going to go with someone who I think has the actual highest upside here. I don't love it. I don't necessarily like it, but let's go with Antonio. He's the cheapest on a pass-heavy team.
Mm-hmm.
I don't trust Fournette or Rojo to take the load. They're going to be passing the ball, and he was great the second half of the season.
A.J. Dillon off the board. And I am up.
You're up. You've got some options. So far, you've got 2 running backs, a tight end, and a receiver. I'm guessing one of the next 2 is going to be a receiver. Probably a running back and receiver if it was me in your position, but maybe a different mode of thought on your side.
Yeah, no. In this situation, I do not love the running backs. I do love the wide receivers, and I gotta fill up my team in a PPR league.
Yeah.
So, my first one is going to be a man I believe in.
I almost took him with my last pick. I can't believe that.
And
definitely daring. So you think he can bounce back from the horrible injury incurred last year?
I do. I like him as a talent. And second one, another something I'm going to take a shot on.
A little bit risky, but if they both pan out, or even one of them pans out, it's going to be worth it there. Jamar Chase. Then it comes back to me, and is it time? Is it that time to go tight end? Especially saying there's at least going to be 2 more off the board before my next pick. Or is it something I can wait on? I think it's something I can wait on.
Are you steering away from Jamar Chase because of all of the news and everything going on right now, Chris? Or would you still take a gander with him even regardless?
I'm not a fan of where he's going, honestly. He might be talented, but rookie wide receivers, they're usually not too high on my draft list. And 5th round pick in a regular, 12-team league is way too high.
All right, so this is a go get your guy, take a chance pick here. If it'll actually select him, Zach Moss.
Hey, that's a 2nd round talent right there.
He went in this 3rd round in the 10-team league. He went pick number 83 in this one. I think he's going to be the number 1 running back there. It gives me that extra level of depth at running back that not a lot of other teams are going to have.
Mm-hmm.
It may allow me to do something like a trade for a tight end with the guy with 4. And this is what I was worried about, is a tight end run here, because I was considering Higbee. I was considering Thomas at that position. I was going to lean Higbee just a little bit. But I was concerned that it was going to be a big rush or this may be the big rush at quarterback, and then you start to get the scraps.
You know, I almost made the rookie mistake of not looking at my team before drafting and did not realize that I had Travis Kelce, and I was looking at Higby as well. So I'm
hey, you wouldn't be the first one to take more than one tight end early. Let's
no,
just go that way.
wouldn't be the first. And I
Hopefully
don't
the
want to be.
last. So right now, nobody with more than one tight end other than the person with 4. Several teams still with no quarterback. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Half the league, no running backs. We do have one team with no receivers, which has 4 tight ends. Technically, it's 3 tight ends and a flex, by the way.
So you had 2 risky choices, I think here. Of course, Antonio Brown, volatile. You never know what's going to happen with him, and also you chose the slightly, of course, injury-prone Joe Mixon. So, which one of those do you think you're more concerned about?
I'm definitely more concerned about Joe Mixon. I've put more draft capital in. There were players like Clyde Edwards-Helaire, Chris Carson, J.K. Dobbins, James Robinson that I could have taken at that position, go get your guy kind of thing. That would have been fine, but Joe Mixon is a pass-catching, all-down running back. If he stays healthy, the wide receivers are great, kind of similar to, Zeke Elliott, and we were talking about Derrick Henry.
Let me pose this question to you. They drafted a rookie named Chris Evans this year. Are you worried that Captain America might take some running back reps?
I was more worried about Puka Williams in Cincinnati, but if Captain America takes it over, I will pick him up on the waivers.
It's unfair that they're allowing a man with superpowers to play in the NFL.
Yeah. So we are definitely in the middle of a tight end run. 4 of the last 8 picks, or the last 7 picks actually, have gone to the tight end position. Joel, I think there's a decent chance you follow that trend. I don't want to direct where you're going, but just looking at your team. Quarterback, 2 running back, 2 receivers with the tight end run. Plenty of options.
That flex spot
still got to get that flex spot, which is important, and he does. He goes Mike Gesicki, and that was another guy I was hoping would fall a little bit. I think Gesicki's got a lot of upside. I know we talked about it, but I've kind of punted on the tight end position at this point. I know what's coming next is going to be a tight end, so let's play the game. Which tight end is going next?
You play to win the game. You don't play to just play it.
So we got Irv Smith Jr., Gerald Everett, John U. Smith, Evan Ingram, Cole Kmet, Austin Hooper. The next one's off the board. Any of those?
I'm going to take a shot and say that Evan Ingram is his next tight end.
I think it'll be. I think you might go Hunter Henry. Joel, you want to take a pick? Who do you think the next tight end off the board is? Probably with this pick.
Yeah, let me take a gander.
Do we know who this is?
Joel does.
Okay.
I don't know him very well.
Oh, Edwin. He's the huge Patriots, huge Tom Brady fan.
Okay.
So yeah,
Tom Brady still on the board?
Is he? No, Tom Brady went a couple picks ago.
Darn.
So.
I'll take a wild shot, and I'll say Gerald Everett as sort of a
Gerald Everett. If it's another tight end, 5'4". If it's another tight end, this will be interesting to say the least. Jalen Hurts is not a tight end. Congratulations, you're back in the draft.
I was actually thinking maybe I was actually thinking of throwing an oddball one in there and saying he was going to draft Taysom Hill.
Oh, there's some thought behind that.
Tight end eligibility.
Tight end eligibility. He could be the quarterback at some point. Honestly, in a 16-team draft, he should be drafted. I don't think I'll do it. It's possible, but if he's got tight end eligibility and plays a game at quarterback, it's going to be a massive thing. All right, so we are just about at the end of round number 6. We are still on our 2-hour pace, which is awesome. Joel, I know this every year We look forward to this draft. Only quarterback for Taysom Hill, by the way.
Sorry. Yeah, I was just going to throw that out there. Taysom Hill has lost his tight end eligibility.
He might get it back, though. He's the backup. But every year, I know this is one of the drafts I look forward to most. The one I'm up in Massachusetts for is probably my number one, just because there's so much more that goes around it. And this one in our family league is probably the next two for me. And every year, I get about to this point of the draft and go, why do I look forward to this marathon session every single year? Hunter Henry off the board after Jamal Williams. Jamal now on the Lions Williams.
Go ahead.
It's just a fantasy football addiction that it's just hard to explain to somebody who doesn't like fantasy football.
Yes. Quick update. I'm now in 11 leagues. I have a problem.
Fun story. Last time we drafted this last year, I had a terrible flu and could not stop vomiting throughout the entire draft.
Oh.
And it was a miserable experience.
Oh.
But I stayed through the whole thing.
That's what it's all about.
Not COVID.
It was you got COVID later.
I did.
That was not pre-COVID. That was pre you getting COVID.
Correct. Yes.
So
when you have the flu or you have a cold that knocks you on your ass, that can be bad enough as it is.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
So just entering round number 7. And I guess we should probably start looking at some of these teams.
GMS has finally taken his second running back in James Conner.
Jai Bad on the board with his second.
Real heavy with
so
the anchor.
Russell Wilson, Christian McCaffrey, James Conner. If James Conner's the starter, that's not bad. Keenan Allen, Mike Evans, Jerry Jeudy. Solid team if Conner is the starter.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, if not,
no QB yet though.
No, he's got Russell Wilson.
Okay.
No tight end, which I'm starting to think that tight end position has to become a priority for those of us who do not have one, with 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 already off the board.
Yeah. At this point, I think you're taking your shot on somebody you think is going to be a breakout. You're not looking at a proven commodity anymore.
No, if I'm looking at the tight end list, it is bleak.
Maybe Evan Ingram is the last.
Gerald Everett could be really good.
Could be, but you need him to break out.
John U. Smith, and maybe he was good in Tennessee, but will he have that in New England? Austin Hooper, Jared Cook, Zach Ertz, if you want to take that chance, he's still deep on the board. And then you've got the young guys, Irv Smith Jr., Cole Kmet, Blake Jarwin, Anthony Firkser, which I've had way more than I want to. And the hot name this week has been Juwan Johnson, at least in dynasty circles. I don't know if he gets any play here, but with how many have gone off the board, it might be a late round consideration for somebody.
And what do you think about the team? Jackshammer has a potential for a lot of upside with Lamar Jackson, Chris Godwin, and Alvin Kamara all on the same team. And of course, I know we're all thinking last year with what they did, and I doubt that they can all reproduce that just the same. But still, when you think about the potential with just those players, and they could just absolutely explode.
They also have a very high injury risk between Godwin, who was hurt a lot of last year, Odell Beckham, who was hurt last year, and Hunter Henry, who has a long history of injuries. So that's another thing. But don't forget, Kamara's great at 1. Who's your number 2? It's Trey Sherman. San Francisco will have a great running back most weeks. It's just not likely to be the same great running back every week.
Also, their stadium is built on an Indian burial ground, and it isn't possible to stay healthy there.
Well, then again, they got hurt in New York.
Fair enough.
So, still, something was a curse last year. We'll see if it happens. But then Laviska Shenault, the new addition. At this point, you were kind of hoping to get something that you can count on a little bit, but you're not counting on anything at this point either.
Yeah, I don't mind shooting a shot on Laviska.
Yeah, this is a good time to take depth. This is a good time to take those high upside guys. It's just, this is the part of the draft where it starts to get tough. The first 5-6 rounds is, all right, give me something comfortable.
We're definitely in dartboard territory here, kids.
Like we said in the beginning, the first 2 rounds, you want to come out of and be like, I'm comfortable. I'm good. I know where I can go from here. when you get through round 6, you want to look and go, okay, where am I at? What do I need to do? And where am I weak? If you feel comfortable through 6 rounds, and I right now feel pretty solid about my team, I'm sure you feel pretty good about yours as well.
Mm-hmm.
It could be, we're looking for depth. We're looking for.
There goes Will Fuller.
That was someone I was kind of hoping to fall. I didn't expect him to fall, but you hope things happen that way.
I am not at the point where I really even know who to hope for.
Yeah,
It's
a little rough.
Still a long wait.
Yeah, this is definitely the point of the draft that the soundbite from Homer Simpson would be definitely appropriate. I have no idea who that is.
Yeah, you're going to start getting that very soon. I mean, Fuller, Gallup, Fournette, but Laviska Shenault, not as much of a household name. I think he's going to be solid. But yeah, you're going to start getting those. Yeah.
This is the part of the draft where you really need guys to hit.
Yeah,
you need your breakouts.
Yeah, the first couple of rounds are to build a base, but you win in these rounds.
Because usually when you're dealing with this deep a draft, everything that you usually grab off the waiver wires is already drafted.
Yeah, we can go and look at the 10-team league we just drafted and go on the waivers and go, oh, man. Yeah. You can almost look at players on that, and I'll just pull it up as an example.
Hold on one sec. We're about to get an auto draft from the most interesting team in the league.
Trey Lance! All right.
Actually, somebody I was interested in targeting. So, go figure.
Yeah, I mean.
I figured I wouldn't have to take him for another 2 rounds, though. So,
yeah. So, if we look at some of the waivers right now, obviously Deshaun Watson is on the waivers. But
another team just took their second tight end.
Interesting
Gesicki,
strategy.
Smith.
But you're looking Jamison Crowder, Sterling Shepard, Devontae Parker on waivers in the 10-teamer. T.Y. Hilton, Amon-Ra St. Brown, some names that you expect to be drafted in a lot of leagues, or at least have a good shot of it.
Is Tim Tebow available?
Hold on, scrolling. My finger's getting tired. I don't see him yet, but I'm going to assume he's still available in that league. So we are in round 7 of 16, and it's starting to slow down as people start to consider their options. And more tight ends off the board is not good for those of us who do not have
AKA, it's what the hell? Let's just pick this guy.
Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Still 6 teams without a tight end.
Sony Michel.
I like that.
Off the board.
Just trying to lock up the Rams backfield.
I thought that would have been a smart strategy for you,
but
didn't quite fall to you.
Nah, it's okay. I think Darnell Henderson's going to lead it.
Maybe like that old cheesy song, someone's just trying to ram it.
Yeah. All right. We're almost at the end of our very long wait. Woo!
All right.
It's good that Joel's picking the top half because he can at least be doing something. Joel with the 2 tight ends now. I do know who I want with my next pick.
Mm-hmm.
Should they still be there? Not loving it, but I'm kind of considering DJ Chark. It's going to be pick 110, 110 on the money. He's got the potential to be the number 1 wide receiver there. He's going after Laviska Shenault.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's a dartboard throw, but he's my number 3 wide receiver. If he hits, he's had high upside in the past. I'm going to have another pick right behind it where I can go and get somebody who may be more solid. And again, we're at that time of the draft where it's like, well, I could also get Corey Davis or Devontae Smith, who's already been injured once this offseason.
The nice thing about starting out with somebody like Robert Woods is you can take your shots after. Yeah, he's locked in your lineup.
And I'm comfortable with Antonio Brown as my 2. I don't love it. It's not like, oh, man, I am solid. But Now I can take 2 or 3 scratch-off tickets, and if one hits, it's like, okay, cool. I got Robert Woods, Antonio Brown as a flex, and whoever I picked up.
So is Ryan going to end up with Ben Roethlisberger as his starting quarterback?
Not again. Not again. Probably a good time to take a peek on what is on the quarterback.
Not Ryan Tannehill.
There's still options out there. Not a lot of them. But I think I'm going to do it. I think I'm going to take a chance on DJ Chark.
So Ryan has completely abandoned every position except for wide receiver and running back. No tight ends, no quarterbacks, nothing. Not even a defense.
Not a defense. No kickers. Hey, at some point I do know I have to go the other way and get some of the other guys. But there's at least 5 tight ends I'm comfortable with, and there's only 4 picks until my next one. So worst case scenario, Soul Boys doubles up, you double up, and I'm stuck with my 5th option. Spoiler alert, I do plan on going tight end with my next pick.
Yeah, I would definitely hope.
Yeah. I like the quarterback depth still. I think I can wait another round or 2 and still get somebody that can start. There's options out there. I'm not too worried about that.
So it'll be interesting to see with the quarterback waiting game which ones you guys end up getting.
Yep. It'll be interesting to see. I know you typically only take 1 in this league. I tend to take 2. I tend to take a quarterback with my last non-kicker, non-defense pick, just because the waivers are real thin. But at that point, I'm basically saying, well, I like this guy more than what's left. That's going to be on the waivers anyways. There goes the quarterback in Matthew Stafford.
All right. So here
Chris
we go.
with 2.
We're not seeing him
Savor
in
the
Detroit.
moment. Savor the moment. You have a few weeks before your next pick.
All right.
And
So,
I know you got to pick your guy.
there's one guy I'm going to take for sure. I think he might be the starter. I'm not confident after what I've heard the last couple of weeks, but
Yep, we had this conversation.
David
before.
Johnson.
David Johnson. I mentioned it. He's still a good
I
guy.
need some running backs. And I think with my other one, I'm going to go with Kenyon Drake.
Don't blame you.
They always they don't want to throw to Josh Jacobs for some reason. They bring somebody else in on 3rd down. They brought in Kenyon Drake to do that, and I expect that team to be losing a lot and in a lot of passing situations. So that's what I'm going to take my shot on.
That's pretty good. Kenyon Drake is right there, sort of around, where James Conner and also where Ronald Jones with the Bucks going, and Drake may be better target than Ronald Jones, of course, with all the talk coming down here in Tampa.
What's the talk down in Tampa? Is Leonard Fournette the guy?
Just sort of back and forth with Arians. You know how that goes.
I've changed my mind. I'm not going tight end. I'm also not going quarterback. So, I'm going to solidify my depth at wide receiver.
What if your guy gets taken?
I would be surprised.
Okay.
But we'll see. It does sometimes happen.
There's one wide receiver I really thought about taking, and I'm interested to see if you go for him.
Well, we'll find out in about 15 seconds. Unless he goes, then it'll take a little longer, but you'll know by my audible damn it.
And cue the damn it in 3, 2, 1.
Nope. Well,
Evan Ingram. All right.
I'm going to go with Darnell Mooney.
Oh, okay.
A lot of buzz around him.
Not the one I was thinking about, but I don't hate that.
You want to let us in? Because I don't think the person is going to be there when you come back.
Maybe they will.
Maybe.
They're a little down the draft.
Well, we are also getting to the part where the auto picks are going to start taking kickers and defense to fill their starting lineup. So
first defense.
some of them will slide a little further.
Mm-hmm.
Some of these guys might be here a little later than you expect. And how do you feel knowing you'll never get the Washington defense in a fantasy league? Oh, I kid, because we don't want him anyways. We don't want them
I mean, the
anyways.
Washington defense is very good, and they play in a terrible division. So
Yes. All right.
I can't say I blame them on that.
The NFC least.
Might as well be a college division at this point.
It's when it's like someone who was going to the playoffs. You're going. You knew how bad that game was going to go.
Especially
Washington played well, though. Let's give them credit. They stood toe to toe with the team that became the champs
yeah,
with a fifth string
Mhm.
quarterback.
but with how strong the NFC was, they didn't belong there.
No, it's hard to say they belonged anywhere other than the ACC.
I think we all remember Chase Young wanting Brady.
He did pretty well that game, though. Let's give credit where it
He
was
did.
due.
He did.
He said, "I want him," and he went after him. His team just couldn't hold up. It's not a one-person game, which is what's great about football. We are getting very close to the halfway point. We have just hit the hour mark, or just about to hit the hour mark of this draft. So we are still on our 2+ hour pace.
The 16-team league drafts always sort of feels like it's so long you're next to a black hole because time just slows down.
Yes. All right. So we continue. Devontae Smith. I'm going to get up another drink because, we got time to kill. So be right
we do.
back. Keep going with the podcast. We'll call out any terrible picks that happen while I'm up. Oh, wait. I can see it. Never mind.
Baker Mayfield.
Don't hate it.
Now there are only 3 teams left without a quarterback.
I'm one of them.
I am one of them as well.
And is Nick the third?
Nope.
But no, he's not.
Nope. The last one is forklift certified.
Ah, Zach. All right.
So we shall see. Although it appears that our favorite tight end team has moved on to the quarterback section of their list. So
Well, I really hope not. Because if he takes 2 more, that's going to hurt. Because at some point, I do have to take a quarterback. That is for sure. But when? When, I don't know.
I'm not in a rush, man.
There's still decent options out there.
Every year, there's 40 quarterbacks that finish in the top 12 at the position on a weekly
At
basis.
some point, yeah.
Yeah, and you'll notice there are not 40 teams in the NFL.
That is accurate. Last I counted, it was 32.
It happens. Michael Thomas finally off the board. I was wondering where he was going to go.
And he went to the team with all the tight ends. So that is a wide receiver 1 for that team.
Are the
Wide
Jaguars still
receiver 1,
considered,
Michael Thomas.
are the
Yeah.
Jaguars actually still considered an NFL team though?
Oh, no. This year's the Texans.
Yeah,
The Texans are the non-NFL team this year.
The Lions.
The
They're a
Lions
rough
will-
team.
The Lions will destroy the Texans if they play.
And of course, you have to bring to question the Falcons with their horrific defense.
Ben Roethlisberger off the board.
Well, you can't draft him now.
Hey, I wasn't gonna.
There are 2 teams left without a quarterback.
These guys.
Are we playing chicken here? Gonna stare each other down
I don't like this
all
game.
the way off the cliff?
And that's great big convoy. Ain't you wonderful
Devin
sight?
Singletary at this point, I like. Running back 3 with Trey Sermon, not necessarily the best setup, but
Ryan and Chris are like 2 semis heading right toward each other, going.
yeah.
Not drafting a quarterback.
It'll be interesting. I do know one of us is going to have to blink first. And
Don't
He just
blink.
turned
Don't
7
think.
to blink.
it's going to be an interesting decision. There's still, again, I actually do believe there's still a good handful of options that are a week-to-week starter. While we're on the topic, what's on the board still? Trevor Lawrence, Kirk Cousins, Ryan Fitzpatrick, Justin Fields, Daniel Jones, Tua, Derek Carr, Sam Darnold, Carson Wentz, Teddy Bridgewater, Jameis Winston, Jared Goff. Those are all starters. Zach Wilson is a starter. Tyrod Taylor will at least start the season as a starter. Mac Jones, or Cam Newton, we've got some starters on the list.
If you draft Jameis Winston, do you have to play like you're getting hit by the machine?
Nice.
Hey, he got eye surgery, sir.
Got to eat them W's. Nom, 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 nom.
He's all good. He can see now.
I honestly think that helps a lot. I find seeing where you're throwing the ball helps quite a bit.
So we're into the bold takes segment of the podcast.
Yes, hot, red hot, flaming hot Cheetos style takes.
Mhm.
Seeing is important.
Yeah.
Flaming Cheetos?
Flaming hot Cheetos. Come on, man, get with it.
So I've had this controversial opinion over the last few years that you need both your feet to run effectively.
Oh,
What do you think about that?
I don't know, man. I don't know.
I'm just not going to draft a one-footed running back. Sorry. Maybe that makes me an ableist. I'm not about it.
Frankly,
Are you towing the line with that general theory?
Yes, the more toast, the better.
Yeah.
That's my running back draft strategy. Get me them toes.
Yes, the running back draft strategy, not a part of the IHOP joke.
Yes, Watson, something is afoot.
Yeah. All right. So we continue waiting for our chicken match to continue
It's an
as
interesting
Naheem Hines goes.
Do you think Deshaun Watson gets drafted?
He didn't even get drafted in our mock draft that we did, right?
No, he did. But
He did?
There's a lot of computers and they're going off of their ADP. In a league like this, I kind of think he does.
Yeah. Yeah.
Especially if it's a team that maybe went Matthew Stafford, Tannehill, Roethlisberger's your one. Maybe you take that flyer that he doesn't miss time and you got a top 5 run quarterback in the late round.
I'm not sure not missing time is possible at this point. But if Deshaun Watson comes in and plays, 10 games, 12 games.
Yeah,
so you tend to think Chris that you sound like he's not going to either get suspended, or if he does, it's not going to really be negligible.
I think just based on the way the NFL does these things, that I wouldn't be surprised at like a 6 or an 8 game suspension, and then an immediate trade the second it all clears up. And
It'll be interesting if they suspend him to the trade deadline. What happens?
Yeah, and once he's starting for the Broncos, I'm going to feel even better about my Courtland Sutton pick.
You'll also be feeling a lot better about your Aaron Rodgers not going to Denver thing. Different thing. I know. How do you feel about Aaron Rodgers after this year?
I'm not convinced he's going to be back. The team I would actually think he might be interested in is Pittsburgh. I think there's tons of weapons there, a good defense, a winning culture, and
so 2 of those 3 things are in Miami as well. Not so much the winning culture lately, but the other stuff. A great defense.
Yeah, but Miami has a quarterback.
Do they though?
They have a quarterback.
I'm not saying I disagree with you. I think
they're not going to give up on their quarterback by next year. I guess that's what I'm saying.
If he's terrible this year, they might.
I don't think so.
I mean, look at Josh Rosen. He never even got a shot, and everybody's giving up on him.
Josh Rosen is one of the tragedies, like one of the worst stories of the NFL.
Josh Rosen just might be a bust this year.
Dude was just never given a real shot.
No.
And at that point, he's just like used trash, and people just keep kicking it around, and it's terrible. Although, he's the backup in Atlanta now, and that, they're going to need a quarterback eventually, right?
Most interesting team in the draft is picking in 30 seconds. It's not an auto. This is not an auto pick right now. Okay. I only imagine Edwin is getting on the computer and just crapping his pants as hard as he can. He's got 4 tight ends, 2 quarterbacks, and 1 wide receiver and 1 running back. Goes with James White. I got to say, at this point, that's a great pick.
Joel, is there any way we could shoot Edwin a text and see what his draft strategy was?
The add message button.
What's up?
right down here where it says add message.
Oh, okay. No, I don't want to. I don't know if anybody's actually paying attention to that.
Yeah, it goes pretty quick too.
Hmm.
Trevor Lawrence off the board. That is a QB backup situation. How many of those do we have already?
We got at
We
least
have 4
two.
teams with 2, 2 teams with 0,
Mhm.
which means 10 teams with just 1.
First kicker off the board.
Justin Tucker to Nate. I have to get used to seeing Swedish meatballs and knowing it's Nate now. I'm gonna tell him now. You got to change your name.
Yeah, because that used to be Martin.
Yeah. All right. So the chicken match is about to resume. Which one blinks first on the quarterback? I will say this much. I got to get a tight end here. Right? Right? I think so. I don't love the options at tight end though. Taking a tight end next. Like you at least have to make 2 picks before I have the opportunity to blink again. Because I gotta take a tight end, right?
I'm going off the cliff.
If you pick zero quarterbacks, I'd be very impressed.
I'll grab like Peyton Manning or something. Shoot my shot.
Still, I
I-
think Peyton Manning has one of the best SNL skits ever.
I
The one where
don't.
Pegging the
Yes.
kids with the football.
Yes, I do.
I didn't realize you can get fantasy points for studio performances.
Hey, Romo's still an option then too. Second kicker off the board.
What was that? Like a big brother, big sister, or something or other?
Yeah, like the United Way or something where he works with kids.
United Way. I think that was it.
That was the one where he threw the football at the kids, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he tells the kid, "You know what? You're so bad. Go sit in the porta potty. Hey, close the damn door."
Get your head around. Philip Lindsay off the board. Everybody's taking their shots at Houston's terrible backfield.
Yeah, it's
Terrible.
Terrible.
All right, so I really don't want to go to the tight end pool, and I don't want to go to the quarterback pool yet.
Don't blink.
And not surprisingly, I saw the Saints game was canceled for tomorrow. Not shockingly.
Yeah, not a huge shock there.
There's a
Possibly.
huge. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say possibly some weather concerns there.
Just a tad. Just a tad.
Tell you, they told us we were going to get a hurricane a couple weeks ago, and it was the most boring, overhyped thing in the world. People emptied out the supermarkets, and we got
Henri.
afternoon. Yes, right?
No,
Right?
Was it like panic down here? Like empty out all the water now. Stat.
Like, have you ever seen Atlanta when they get like an inch of snow? It was pretty much that up here.
Yeah.
A hurricane in Massachusetts?
No.
Panic. Oh my God. Oh noes.
All right, so I'm officially on the board with the tight end. So now comes the part: do you blink
So
and take a quarterback coming up?
the wide receiver I was looking at before is still on the board.
I think I know who it is. Marvin Jones.
Nope. I'm
Samuel.
probably going to take my shot on my wide receiver. And then quarterback's getting tempting.
You know, there is a point of pride for me now. If I can say I was the last one to take one, I'd be all right with that.
He's targeting Michael Pittman. That's who. No.
Wouldn't surprise me if that was accurate.
So with my next pick, I'm going to take a wide receiver for sure. And
Okay. Then it comes the question of blinking. Oh, he's got it up.
Like that one. If you ever saw that one Doctor Who episode with the statues.
I have not. But that being said, we are a few seconds from finding out one way or the other. As Baltimore's defense goes, we are at the end of round number 9, start of round number 10. And you were correct. It is one Michael Pittman, which I don't blame you.
All right.
I guess
Now
right.
comes the question. Is it time for a quarterback for Chris, or is this more depth?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not a good Sir, we need you speaking in coherent English sentences. Yeah, it's not going to do it.
Coherent English? That's such a thing.
All right. I am gonna take a shot.
All right. He
Ryan.
blinks. I win.
Ryan is the last one.
Feels good to be last. I mean, not like that team that has 4 tight ends and 2 quarterbacks.
Yeah, that last is not going to feel
That's the bad last.
How inebriated were they when they were drafting?
We kind of lost it. What was that?
No, I was asking how inebriated were they when they were drafting?
That's Edwin. I mean, I don't know. I would say very would be my guess.
And I know that's like I was listening to, was it Ratcliffe on the radio, and he was saying it's IPA Fridays. So,
All right.
About 30 seconds till I get to pick. Kind of looking around, just seeing what's out there.
I have 900 picks until my pick.
Oh, no, he's got 900 picks till his next pick.
And do you continue to not blink on grabbing your quarterback?
I do. I think I do.
Yeah. Still gonna bypass, huh?
Still gonna wait. I still have at least a few guys out there I like. I don't know how many people are gonna go and get 2 quarterbacks. I don't think enough where all of the guys are gone before my next pick. So we're gonna take a shot here with Jacoby Myers. He might be the number 1 there. I think if Cam Newton is not the starter, which seems likely, if he's not the starter, Jacoby Myers might have a monster year. It's a dart throw.
I don't dislike that pick at all.
It's a dart throw. I mean, you can only do so much. So the last one with a bagel in the quarterback category is me. We do have somebody with 2 defenses already. For what that's worth, back-to-back picks. Fortunately, they can only play 1. And then 4 teams with a kicker and a defense.
Yeah, that would be a team that would be a league to have a 2 defense league. Yeah, okay.
Oh no. I found a team that we have to talk about. Stay Mahomes. Quarterback, Kyler Murray. Wide receiver of Tyreek Hill, Chase Claypool. Running backs, Josh Jacobs. End of list. Tight end, Darren Waller. Flex, Robert Tonyan. Bench, Landry, Burrow, and Sterling Shepard. 1 running back drafted, and the pool is dry.
Wah, wah. Bum, 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 bam.
Well, if you look at it, you still got your Carlos Hydes out there.
Yeah, you
Your
got
Giovanni
Carlos Hyde.
Bernards.
You could always take a shot on someone like Ty Johnson stealing that job. Marlon Mack. I got nothing.
Do we have 2? Do we have 2 contenders for the Price is Right Fail award?
I think we have a clear winner of that award, but this hurts. This is not a great place to be. $5 footlong quarterback number 2. I think if you drafted Josh Allen,
there goes. You like that?
Yeah. If like you look at Tom Brady and Trevor Lawrence, I'm fine with that. But if you're going to go and pay up for Josh Allen, that's got to be your only one.
Yeah, I agree. Like, I don't intend on taking a second tight end.
No,
regardless of.
No, I may. I have at least one more deep dive guy I kind of like.
Mm-hmm.
I, of course, still need a quarterback. I've got 4 picks before I go kicker defense to do that with. But, yeah, it's going to be a long wait because we are only at round 10, pick number 7. We are at an hour and 18 minutes of drafting. We are still pretty close to our 2-hour pace.
And Fitzmagic is still undrafted.
Yep, he is still an option for me.
The disrespect.
The disrespect is just absurd. And frankly,
There goes Jameis.
Jameis Winston.
Crab Legs is gone at 151.
And that is somebody with one running back on the roster.
And 3 quarterbacks.
And 3 quarterbacks. This is an interesting draft strategy. I will say this. I thought I could sneak Jameis in round 11 or 12. He was one of the ones I was definitely waiting. I'm like, I can wait.
Mm-hmm.
That hurts. That pick does hurt, especially when it is your 3rd quarterback. It's all right. There's still at least a handful of guys I'm happy with. Although seeing 2 back-to-back when I have 22 picks to my next one.
Imagine a run of quarterbacks here.
Oh, my Lord. Well,
just trade Mixon straight up for Winston.
no, I'm good. Honestly, I could probably go and trade him Zach Moss or Kareem Hunt and get better than Jameis Winston because he has 1 running back on his roster. That's a very strange draft.
Yep.
And he finished last place last year. Not where you want to be. Last place last year and then being critiqued.
I know fantasy football people say that you can't lose your season in the draft, but
That's not the saying, Joel. The saying is you can't win at the draft. You can absolutely lose the draft. In our Friends League, we saw someone do that last year by taking only kickers.
Mm-hmm.
And you can absolutely lose at the draft. If you're in a league this deep and you still have an open spot at a shallow position like running back, that's a problem. And to go another route, Edwin's only got 1 wide receiver so far.
And
it's someone who's injured.
Injured, yeah.
So they're going to be starting right now with 2 zeros on the board. I would think, even if it's an auto pick, it's got to correct somehow, right? Like, it won't let him pick more tight ends and quarterbacks. I think. I hope. I don't know if the desperation made you laugh or you just are choking on your
medic. We need a medic.
It's a long draft. You got to stay hydrated.
Streamer down. You okay, Chris?
He took his headphones out. He's a trooper. He will he'll survive until the NFC Championship game once again. Right. So halfway through round number 10, Denver's defense comes off the board. This is where it gets interesting. You will start seeing live people take defenses because the pool of talent is drying up. I don't agree with it. I think even in a league this deep, you can find a meh defense every week, good enough to stream.
Mm-hmm.
So you think the offensive depth that you normally hunt for on waivers is more important?
Yeah. I mean, there's a reason that I'm looking at the quarterback pool going, I'm still good. Let me go get Jacoby Myers. I'm still good. Let me go get Chark. Let me go get Zach Moss.
He says as 10 quarterbacks fly off the board before his next pick.
No. Joel is nope. Joel just took Carlos Hyde. Don't mind that pick. James Robinson gets hurt. Oh boy, that's a great pick. Out of nowhere, the most interesting team in the draft. I would be willing to say this is going to be a wide receiver.
Can we come up with an official award for 2021, the Sports Shuffle official WTF Draft Award?
I mean, I could bronze a turd for you, but that's about it because that's just – it's awful. It really is. It's got to be a wide receiver, right?
I would imagine so.
Like, even if it is auto picking, the algorithm should dictate it's got to be a wide receiver. If it's Mecole Hardman and is going to be technically his number one receiver, ouch. I know I just traded for him in a dynasty league with you, but he's going to be my wide receiver 4.
Even before week 1 and you haven't played a game yet, is that when you go, oh no, we suck again?
Yeah, this is going to be a tough season for him. It will be an interesting battle to see who comes in last place. It really will be. And I got my money on Edmund right now.
The Sports Shuffle is. We can bring the official.
So he's got the Saints wide receivers locked up.
Okay.
We can have the fantasy version of the Super Bowl of Suck.
Well, honestly, if we just have a loser's bracket, that would kind of take care of itself. Wow. Honestly, that's the only 2 teams I look at and just go, no, you got nothing. You got no shot.
Piss away the playoffs? No. That one doesn't work.
What do you guys think is the most interesting team so far? Like, I wouldn't do it that way, but something might happen.
Let's see.
I'll start because I was thinking about it. I'm looking at team number 1. You start with Christian McCaffrey. Then you wait until you got a James Conner and Akeem Hines. You got all these like depth RB pieces, hoping to just plug something into number 2. And then you take really solid picks at Keenan Allen, Mike Evans, Jerry Jeudy, Michael Gallup, who I think is going to be decent.
I think Crowder's.
I really like the Jeudy pick in there.
Still don't have a tight end.
Yeah. So is that the person waiting on the blink there?
Team 2 also does not have a tight end.
So the first 2 picks, no tight ends. You got to think that's coming here, which is good for someone who doesn't have a quarterback. It's probably a little less out of that run. Hopefully. Yeah, that Jameis pick did kind of throw my plan off. Not badly, but enough where I need to say it threw my plan off.
I guess they're thinking because they have Dalvin Cook, they're not going to need a tight end. I don't know.
I guess maybe. They've already got 2 defenses, though. That's what's crazy. No tight ends, 2 defenses. We'll see. Second quarterback for them in Justin Fields behind Dak Prescott. Again, if you're going to spend a 4th-round pick on Prescott, that should be it.
Yeah, I mean, I guess at this point you're just thinking, all right, I've fully punted on tight end, and I'll just take my shot at somebody in the end. But
I do know I have a second tight end I want to get that is a full scratch-off ticket. If it works, that's great. If not, drop him, find someone else later.
They already cut Tim Tebow.
No, not happening.
And then you have a Forklift that has the interesting wide receiver core: Tyler Boyd, Will Fuller, and T. Higgins.
Yeah, Higgins, Boyd on the same team, and a Fuller. Interesting. Not where I would have went there. Obviously, pretty tough. Let's see who. I think I got to go with the Stephon Diggs, DeAndre Hopkins, Tyler Lockett. Great start, but then your running backs of Damian Harris, Melvin Gordon, and that's it. Mm-hmm. Damian Harris in the Patriots backfield is always a risk, even though he's going to be the number 1 guy. And Melvin Gordon's got a real good shot of losing his job and being the backup, not traded, backup.
Mm-hmm. And Pitter-Patter. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I'm good. And we did see the tight ends go, by the way. Komet and Austin Hooper.
There we are.
So everybody on the board with the tight end. Let's go back to...
Is your guy still on the board?
I am the only player that has a 0 in a position, not kicker and defense, and his quarterback.
Okay.
So I think it's time to blink. I've got another 10 picks, though, so hopefully we don't get another run.
I'm still rooting for that QE run.
I can't wait any longer, I don't think. I have a feeling if I don't take a quarterback, you might just take one to spite me with your 2 picks.
Why do you think I'd only take one?
You could take 2. I don't think you draft 3 though. I've got a couple guys there I still like. I do like Fitzpatrick. I think Daniel Jones has upside. Derek Carr is surprisingly consistent.
If you had to pick between Sam Darnold and Teddy Bridgewater to plug in your lineup, who are you going with?
Darnold. If nothing else, the dump offs to Christian McCaffrey, I think, save him a ton. And he's got the rapport with Robbie Anderson.
Mm-hmm.
So there's actually a very good possibility I go back-to-back quarterbacks here and just go, okay, I've got 2, but I've got 2 that I like because I don't want to get to the point where what's on the waivers is Taysom Hill, Tyrod Taylor, Cam Newton, Drew Lock, Jimmy G, Andy Dalton, Mitch Trubisky kind of thing. Yeah, you get some real bad names real quick. So it might be worth back-to-back. Most interesting team is back on the clock.
Yeah, I agree.
I think this might be a defensive kicker.
You think so, huh?
Everything else is technically filled, starting lineup-wise.
Well, I guess if you count the tight end in the flex spot.
Yeah. Joel, you were saying?
No, yeah, I definitely agree with Darnold. Just definitely had a couple places easily above Bridgewater.
Yeah. Although Bridgewater winning the starting job in Denver, I think is good for most of their players. Bad for Noah Fant, but good for the rest.
Let's go Sam Darnold or Derek Carr.
Oof.
That is tough. I might lean Darnold just for the upside. He was on the Jets. And for those of you who don't know, the Jets are beyond trash. So there's a part of me that thinks if he's in a good situation, he showed some games where he was great with the Jets.
He has escaped Adam Gase, which has been very good for
that is
huge. In the past.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I think Darnold's a real candidate at my spot. It's not my number 1 target that's on the board left, but if I go back-to-back quarterbacks and he's there at the second one, I wouldn't be surprised if I took him. That being said, Gio Bernard, sneaky pick, might work out well.
Your favorite kicker off the board?
Matt Gay. I can't just yell Gay all the time, I guess. Gay. But it just adds excitement to the games for me, especially when it was with the Bucks and we had all the local games. Because I know you've got the Sunday ticket, but I don't have the direct TVs. We have cable, so I watched a lot of Bucks games because that's what's on. So when he was with the Bucks, it was literally every week, 3, 4, 5 times, extra points than otherwise, just screaming it.
Yeah,
great.
We had a similar thing around here with Tyreek Hill. Whenever he was sprinting down the field, Nick would scream, "Tyreek!" and disturb my neighbors.
Oh, I thought it was Goo Kachu, I Am the Walrus with Darren Waller. Because I've heard him do that one a few times. All right. So we are up to round 11, pick number 9. We're starting to fall behind our 2-hour pace, which is slightly unfortunate because this is a long enough draft to begin with.
Plus, another whole thing that you have to bring up with Derek Carr is you wonder how much the wide receivers are going to really mature this year as opposed to last year.
Yeah, he's got a lot of potential at wide receiver. He does have Waller. I do think the addition of Drake helps him with a good pass catching back, but I don't know how much. It'll be interesting. He's very consistent. He doesn't make horrible mistakes, but he does have those absolute train wreck games, like he did winning 4 points last year in one of them.
Yeah, and they're not games you would expect, which is the issue.
Especially if you started him, then
yeah, he'll like outduel Kansas City in some like giant barn burner game, and then get his butt kicked by the Jets.
Yeah,
doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, that's why you have the games where, like, speaking of trucks, where you go, where'd that truck come from?
Yeah, it was. The Jets game was the one I remember in the Friends League. Ryan needed to win that game to make the playoffs. He started Derek Carr, and he got 4 points and loss on that. Like that alone sunk him.
That's when you just you check the score and you're trying very hard not to throw the phone or tablet that you're checking it on, while tossing out a couple expletives, I'm sure.
Yeah, knowing Ryan, he didn't throw his tablet, he threw his cat.
So looking at $5 footlong here, running back, we got Saquon Barkley, Raheem Mostert, nobody else.
It's bold to go with just the two. It's bold to go with one.
Especially with both their injury histories.
Yeah. Let me see.
But-
Stay Mahomes, by the way, still only one. And they just took a defense. I don't know if he knows. Like, I'm starting to think it's one of those, like, should we tell him he's only got one? Or should we just leave that as a happy little surprise when he looks at his team and he's like, why do I? Oh.
Maybe they just figure Jameis Winston will count as a second running back.
I don't know.
Well, let me just check the waivers real quick.
Yeah, there's
Ooh.
Malcolm Brown is probably his best bet. And that's not good. Maybe Cohen in a PPR? Maybe.
That's when you're hoping that Madison is still available. Ooh.
All right, Fitzpatrick went, so we're going to go
There
with
goes-
the guy.
There goes Fitzmagic.
Every team now has a quarterback.
Carson
Carson Wentz was the guy I wanted. I do know I have to get a second one because of the injury potential. And Daniel Jones. I might have gotten this right before a quarterback run, right at the start of it, which is actually good for me.
Ryan will be doing a lot of Wentzing this year.
I'm very high on Carson Wentz, even though he had the foot injury. He seems to have recovered from it. Seems to be good to go. But yeah, it's getting real dark on these waivers. It's real ugly out there.
And Chris,
I do know who I would pick outside, and I like that pick, but that's not who I was thinking. Who I would pick outside
who does
of
Chris get with the BOGO?
as we enter round number 12 with MVS.
Ooh.
That makes a lot of sense as he is fallen out of frame.
Good.
He's so
picks.
tired. He's lost his stool. Gage and Scantling, definitely some depth guys. And now we are going to do the aforementioned Sam Darnold.
Yeah, I thought about my second quarterback at that point, but I liked taking a couple shots.
I don't
there.
blame you. If I was in a better position at quarterback, I think I would, even if I had Tua, I think, or Jameis, Kirk Cousins, I probably do the same thing there. I don't worry about that second guy. But with Wentz, with the foot, I think when he plays, he's going to be a home run starter. Sam Darnold as insurance, I'm okay with. And if I have to cut him and get somebody else, Wentz is the guy. I think he's the only guy left that really has top 10 potential at all. Might not be great potential, but it's there. So round 12, Hell's Kittens taking Ramondre Stevenson, like the pick. Even though New England running backs are very hard to predict at 181, the guy's been very good in the preseason so far.
Interesting names still on the board, especially with how good they did last year. In some cases, Latavius Murray.
Well, Latavius Murray's not a lock to make that roster with the Saints. I think he'll be picked up. Could end up in Houston as a starter for all we know. But the risk of him not making the roster right now, I think, is what's keeping him from being drafted.
2 more bench spots.
What's up?
There's 4 more rounds.
Yep.
Oh, okay. I thought it was 6 bench.
Nope. 12 to 16. Because nothing says 16-team league, but having an extra player on each roster already. This may be a holdover from COVID that I forgot to change or not, but we're going to leave it.
With how perfectly normal that last year was not.
Last year was interesting, to say the least. So to stay Mahomes take a quarterback, he does this Latavius Murray. Josh Jacobs and Latavius Murray, RB1 and 2 for Stan Mahomes.
Okie dokie.
It's not how I would do it, but maybe he's smarter than I think.
I guess we're just going to keep quoting dodgeball. It's a bold strategy, Cotton.
For those two teams, all I can think of is that quote from Terrell Owens: "Get your popcorn ready."
I can't wait till they play each other. Like, I hope that's a week 1 matchup.
Which team?
It might be Jaguars Jets, but those games tend to be entertaining.
The fantasy equivalent thereof.
Mm-hmm.
That would be like the baseball equivalent of the Diamondbacks and Rockies playing each other.
Orioles and probably the Diamondbacks, yeah.
Because I know the Diamondbacks.
Let's see. Are the Orioles still in their losing streak? Because they were at 18.
No, because I remember
No?
because they absolutely killed the Angels in one game.
Those
killed them.
bitches.
I mean, murderized them.
Oh, that's a shame. I was really hoping for the record.
Derek Carr.
13-1 yesterday with the Orioles over the Angels, oddly enough.
Yeah, it was one of those games that you're going, okay, there's no way I expect them to do this out of complete nowhere.
Well, they went back to losing by losing to the Rays tonight. So,
well, yeah, because one of the
best team in the AL versus the worst team in the league. Yeah. All right.
It's like I saw someone do the meme where they photoshopped the Orioles logo over that kid on the bus and who's chuckling, going, "I'm in danger."
Yep.
All right. I have no idea how this guy's going to do, but I have him now. Yay.
Yeah, the Jets running back room is an interesting puzzle.
I like Tevin Coleman. I really like Tevin Coleman with the experience with Saleh already. I think early season he's going to actually be the starter there. Late season, no guarantees. I think Michael Carter might take that job. Similar to what's going to happen in Denver, but
yeah. And word out of camp is that Ty Johnson looks really good. So
is that sort of like you'd sort of have 2 seasons within a season of fantasy football?
So, just to go over how bad the running back situation is on the board, Darrell Williams, Ty Johnson, Marlon Mack, Darrington Evans, Tariq Cohen, Justin Jackson, Tony Jones Jr. He's got a lot of hype, but he's still the clear backup. Benny Snell, Boston Scott, Damian Williams, Salvon Ahmed, Devontae Booker, Keyshawn Vaughn, and a bunch of people nobody else wants.
Jared Goff's, not surprisingly, still on the board.
Highlighting the top wide receivers, Manuel Sanders, Nelson Aguilar, Juwan Johnson, Rashad Bateman, Brian Edwards, John Brown, Rondale Moore. There is still a little bit of talent at the wide receiver spot. If you want to go for depth, there is still a little bit of talent. I like Manuel Sanders. I highly doubt he falls to me.
Are you talking about Kiki Coty?
No, he was not on my board, oddly enough.
Or maybe even the puzzle that is one, even though the wide receiver Rashard Higgins in Cleveland.
He has not gone yet either, which is a little bit of a surprise. I didn't think he would go.
Yeah, we are running very low on starting quarterbacks.
Finally, if you are waiting on a number 2, I think your waiting time is about up.
Right now, it's
Jared Goff, the winner of the Patriots job, and technically Tyrod Taylor or Deshaun Watson, but probably Tyrod Taylor.
Right now, we're at the point in the draft of how low can you go? Can you go down low? Wasn't Robbie Gold the one who was the last picked one in the other
Yeah,
draft?
he was Mr. Irrelevant in the last one.
Okay.
So
That's what I remembered.
kickers should always be the last pick, and I can pretty much guarantee it will be for most people that are defense. 29 starting quarterbacks off the board so far.
If you don't have a quarterback by now, you're probably really screwed.
Everybody's got at least one. There are 4 teams with only one. Jybat, Forklift, Hell's Kittens, and Chris here. I don't expect all 4 to finish with only one, even though we only have 2 more rounds before most people will take kicker, tight end, or kicker defense. That being said, a lot of teams already have a defense. A lot of teams have a kicker. So maybe that's what they're going to go in the 15th and 16th round. Where the rest of us have already got the most out of the talent pool there is. And we'll be getting our who gives a crap defense and who gives a crap kicker.
And Deshaun Jackson still available.
Not a huge surprise, even though he is with the Rams. There is some upside as a deep threat. His big issue for his entire career has been health.
I tell you, if you want to start him week 1 and then instantly cut him, I wouldn't blame you.
That and Samuel Watkins will get you a win week 1.
Fair enough.
Yeah. Deshaun Jackson, Sammy Watkins, week 1, lock it in. Week 2, cut them both. That is a winning strategy. Going back to the full grid, we have 1 team with 2 defenses, still 5 teams with none. We go to the kickers. We have 8 teams with, 8 teams without. Not at this point.
Is there a way to make the auto draft time shorter?
Not at this point. That does hurt quite a bit, actually. Let me see. Maybe we can fix this. Doubt it, though.
Presses X.
Hmm?
Oh, X for that video game thing.
Oh, it seems like it's going quick enough. But...
That's what they should have. Just posted something about it's now Hurricane Ida.
Yeah, it's getting bad.
This is forecasted to be a Cat 4.
Yeah. New Orleans is not going to have a good weekend.
Situational overview should be holy shit. That's what they should just put on the situation overview.
Yeah.
Manuel Sanders off the board.
Don't hate it.
Sammy Watkins still on the board.
Yep. We are in the final quarter of the draft officially. So we are hoping, I guess, by about 10:30 at this point.
Yikes.
Yes, we will hopefully get done before Saturday. Oh, I'm next for another irrelevant pick. Yay.
There is no way to change it at this point.
All right. I'm going to take a little time out here.
All right. So, Juwan Johnson at 199. We are at pick 200 now. The marathon is wearing on some people a little worse than others as he goes down in a heap over there. So, All right.
19 picks to go. Yeah.
I'll have to remember to find. I don't know if there's a way to automatically make the auto pick shorter. I know in a mock draft they go about 10 seconds.
They don't have a hurry the F up option.
No. Oh, well. We got 3.5 rounds left. At this point, you can just kind of live with it. Pick
That's
200 is the Colts.
see 3 rounds in real time. That's under a decade, right?
Again, I'm looking probably before 10:30 at this point. The problem is
There goes Nelson Aguilar, 201st pick in the draft.
yes, only another 60 picks or so.
600,575 picks, I think, or something like
We're
that.
at pick 202. The last pick is 256. I do expect us to be ready for it to be over by then. As much as we enjoy drafting, this does take quite a bit of time. And you're still awake over there? As I get a lazy thumbs up. So we are still coherent-ish over there.
When did Chris get up today?
Oh, I have no idea. But yeah, it'd be nice if we can speed these auto picks up, but no, unfortunately, I don't think that is an option.
Where did you put all your 4-legged critters up?
Oh, they're at home.
Oh, okay.
They're self-sufficient. Don't worry. Just leave them a bunch of food and let them rule the house for a few days. They'll be all right. Then we'll be up to check on them on Sunday.
Because it's weird with you having a podcast and you don't have any interruptions.
Yeah, I've been putting them in a different room, so we don't have as many issues with them sneaking over and interrupting as much. Only 54 more picks to go in this draft. Joel, how are you feeling about your team so far?
Actually, feeling pretty good. I tend to think of that. Of course, every year that you tend to feel a little bit better about the 10-team league than you do about the 16-team league. But that being said, I of course like Justin Herbert just because sometimes you tend to go with the quarterback that you just sort of feel like, okay, they're falling to me. Let me take them. Of course, I have AJ Brown in there. I know with the whole injury question, but you just sort of sometimes you don't want to reach too much down a couple more picks when something falls to you. Of course, Terry McLaurin from Washington, more wide receiver depth. You can't argue at all with Nick Chubb. Feel really good about that. When your number 2 is Myles Gaskin, can't complain there. Really liking the Mike Gesicki pick. Then of course Irv Smith will be the backup. Backup QBs, Matt Ryan. I know Ryan is not exactly what you would call at his best or in his zenith, but especially with Julio.
If you would have taken Matt Ryan where you did, I was hoping to grab him. He was on my board coming up.
But on the other hand, for where I got him, I think he was a pretty good bargain just in general.
Yeah.
And then also, as far as wide receiver depth goes, with Marquise Brown, I'm just like to myself, I know he had an up-down year, more up towards the end, so I'm hoping the up part continues this year. I know Carlos Hyde is definitely waning in the twilight of his career, but hopefully he can do something in Jacksonville. Giovanni Bernard definitely, I think, going in the downward spiral after that one incredible year. Yeah, I know Tevin Coleman. Okay, I know he's running back. He's on the Jets, but somebody's got to run the ball. And Pringle, of course, just one of those what the heck picks towards the dartboard at the end of the draft. But
Yeah.
overall, I tend to think that the sexy players too have to be Justin Herbert and Nick Chubb, with a little Miles Gaskin thrown in there, and maybe a little Gesicki. But overall, I think a solid team. And then, of course, you have Marquise Brown in there with a little unpredictability, but solid team. And you honestly never know how it's going to go until the year actually starts. And then you can cheer and pat yourself endlessly on the back or yell a lot at the screen, depending upon what happens.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a long season, and this has been a very long draft. As long as you are happy with your team when you come out of it, that's really
What
all you can hope for.
What about your team, especially starting off with the quarterback truck duel you had there with Chris?
I'm pretty happy. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with the Wentz and Darnold combo. I don't necessarily love either one, but I think each week I'll have some good options there. Robert Woods, Antonio Brown, I'm happy with. Gibson and Mixon. Much as I'm not high on Mixon, if he stays healthy, that's going to be a steal at that point of the draft. Ferkser.
That's easy for you to say.
Ferkser at tight end is okay. It's somebody I got to wait on. He's going to be the number one there. He's got a good chance of getting some work. Hunt's going to be good.
Fritzer's is going to be your Boyd, like I totally messed up with the Boyd last year.
Yeah. Kareem Hunt, I'm happy with. Zach Moss, I think could be an absolute steal where I got him. Then Chark, Mooney, Jacoby Myers, Mo Alley Cox, and Amon-Ra St. Brown, the wide receivers on the bench. A lot of depth there. If one of those guys pops, maybe get a little bit of depth at running back with a trade. But all in all, not too bad. I
can't believe you took Chark.
I also took a lot of other wide receivers after, just in case he doesn't work out.
Fair. So much like me, you tend to have your concerns, but by and large, you can't say that it was a bad draft.
No, no one's going to come out of this and be like, man, I am stacked. That happened to me one time in this league, and that was the year Kareem Hunt was a rookie. I got him in round 9 with the year Todd Gurley went off and Devontae Freeman his last year of relevance. I was absolutely stacked. I got Tyreek Hill late. That team steamrolled people. But other than that, I don't think I've ever come out of a draft going, wow, that team's loaded. For myself or anybody else.
I will also caution having excessive hype about your draft because, as I said, I had this one team that I thought it was an easy draft and it was really good. My year sucked in that league.
It's never easy.
Because you can think you had a awesome draft and you totally kicked butt, and this player fell to you, and you sang this one out of nowhere, and then you're turning around and you're going, "How am I doing this horrible in the league?"
Yeah, it's never a sure thing. Draft is only part of the season, so I know we're talking about some teams that maybe went a little too light on certain positions, and that is definitely the case with some. There are some people that still only have 2 wide receivers. I think everybody's up to at least 3 running backs at this point, even if they're not great. There's still moves to be made. There's still work to be done. Nobody has won the league tonight. There may be a couple people that made their job a lot tougher, but overall, it's still going to be competitive with first place definitely still up for grabs.
Well, the waiver wire, I think, in the 16-team league is always the one that literally you grab somebody that if you got them in the 10-team league, you're like, but if you get them in the 16-team league, you like throw a celebration because that's how difficult and how utterly like bare the waiver wire is by the time, because everybody, of course, has drafted almost everybody.
Yeah. All right, we are less than 40 picks away from the end of this bear.
Hallelujah.
Pick 1410 is currently on the clock. The next 2 are on, so Pitter Patter and Joel should be pretty quick.
We almost need like a countdown or something like.
Yeah, I mean,
So like
it's
we're almost there.
yeah. I mean, I've got 20 picks till my next one, but I go boom, boom right out. I know Chris
We're
will
almost
go
out of the dry.
back to back and be done.
We're almost out of the dry desert, and you see off in the distance the oasis. And
Yeah,
you're almost there.
It's getting close. It'll go a lot quicker when people who are online don't take a full 45 seconds in round 14 to make a pick and counting. But that being said, there's only so much you can do. Fun fact: this is the one that said, "Can we make the auto draft picks faster?" Which we couldn't. Which we couldn't. I tried. I looked without screwing up the entire draft and making us do it again, which didn't seem like the best option. I just got to be honest. I figured.
Oh, can you
I'm just gonna
imagine?
let it roll.
I can't imagine having to sit through all this.
At that point, it's almost just auto pick everybody. But
Like F it, auto pick everyone. Like screw it.
all right, Joel back up in the 14th round. We are approaching the end of round 14. And Quadri Ollison. Don't mind that pick. I mean, it's a running back at this point of the draft. Not a whole lot else you could do.
Somebody they're in the somebody in some position that they're in the NFL on some team.
Yeah, there's not much left to go out in this draft. Captain America is still on the board. Chris Evans of the Bengals. Tony Jones Jr., which has a lot of hype in New Orleans, is still out there. Demetric Felton for the Bengals as well is a wide receiver and a running back hybrid. Could be something that at least you have two cracks at it if you're still looking in that way. Cordero Patterson with the same level of interest. I know a lot of us, or a few of us at least, still need a kicker and a defense. We do have two teams now with two defenses. 4 with none. And Joel, you, Chris, and I are 3 of those teams. Nick is the other. And 5 teams with no kicker. Again, those same 4 with 2 others included.
It's not good. I'm also looking at the hurricane news, and somebody was speculating that Ida is going to be retired as a name after the storm is done.
I would think so. Yeah. You don't project 140 miles at landfall this far out and then not have that potential. It's all right. I get to work tomorrow. It's great because of this damn storm. So, anywho, we are now 4 picks from the end of round number 14. And I think the key is anybody who still turns on their auto draft goes quicker. If you're just going on and off, on and off, on and off, it goes slower because you've been making your picks. That's kind of what we're seeing.
Sort of like the Beatles. You say yes, I say no.
Well, I'm looking at Jibat's been here most of the time. Forklift Certified's been here most of the time. Out of Nowhere's popped on and off. So they're not properly auto picking. But once you say I'm done and you're going to auto pick, it does one long one and then it'll go quickly until you hop back in.
And also wanted to toss out a thank you to Chris for being on camera and chiming in.
Yes, he is now fully reclined on the couch. He's got his laptop up like a book, waiting on his pick in about 15 to 20 weeks.
That is the best way to be.
Yes. Tyrell Williams, pick 223. We do have 2 more rounds and 1 pick, so we are officially into the 15th round now. The auto picks, if you've been off for a little bit, again, about 10 seconds, so we should start seeing these go a little quicker. Yep, 10 seconds on auto pick if they stay offline. There goes Taysom Hill. Can't say I blame you too much there. That's pretty much the entire league is now on auto draft. A lot of people can't handle the 16-team, 16-round marathon that this is, but
you want the truth, like you can't handle the truth.
Yeah, it's a tough draft to sit through, especially when people keep hopping in and out. I mean, it is longer because we did have more participation this year. I think 13 of the 16 did show up at least in part, if not in full.
I can't see how you have like 20 teams and people do drafts that like, oh my.
Yeah, everybody shows up, everybody takes the full amount of time, and it's a bear.
And like 3 days later, the draft is done.
That is why slow drafts are around now, honestly. Because if you have a monster league and it's going to take forever to do something like this, you do a slow draft. And it might take 3 weeks to do, but you're not waiting. You can go about your life, do your thing, come back when it's your pick. As long as you have notifications on, you're good.
I can understand the benefits of that.
It's very popular with dynasty leagues, especially startups. As far as redraft, it's not as popular, but with a league like this, it may be something to look into. For that sad part of the draft, we're looking at the kicker and defense list, which mercifully and unfortunately means we're close to the end of drafting for a day. We have
Yahoo!
I know Chris and I have another draft tomorrow and another draft on Sunday. He's got 2 on Sunday, 2 live drafts. That I think is going to be a marathon in and of itself.
How long is that one going to be?
The first one should only be a couple hours. The second one is going to be longer because we still got to do whatever we're doing to pick the draft order. The winner of that league gets to determine the game.
A
or
couple
the way.
A couple hours? Yikes.
Yes. Yes. It could take that long. Depends on how much the people know and how much they're willing to rush.
I assume that's when you have somebody in charge of ordering delivery.
Yeah, usually the food is set up in advance.
It's like, okay, your 20 pizzas are here, sir. I'm picking a kicker next. Yay, I think it's done.
Yes, you are 1 pick away. We have 7 picks till my next one. And then we'll be wrapping up on our end pretty quick from there. And then you'll have to wait until it gets back to you. And we will pretty much wrap this up as soon as the draft is over. And I'm guessing go about our lives. Good news is all of these are on auto pick now. Should be a little quicker next time, which is hopeful.
Yikes. I just saw a post that somebody said that they're looking at this time category 3 or 4 at landfall, but all the way to a category 5 is on the table.
Yeah, 5 is definitely going to be in play for that storm. It really is. And it's going to a horrible place to take a storm of that strength. So
because of the levees and everything.
The levees, the fact it's a bowl, it's technically
Levees.
below sea level, and yeah, it's not a great place to be for just heavy rain, let alone heavy rain, storm surge, and wind. All right, we only have about 23 more picks. I'm hoping some of these auto drafts go a little bit quicker as we are just over the 2-hour mark in this draft. Started at 8 p.m.
Can you do Jedi mind tricks and encourage auto drafts that way?
Yeah. So tomorrow we have our first ever vampire draft, which we will be able to go over and kind of analyze next week if we feel like it. It'll be an interesting format, trying to find something to talk about as the Green Bay defense goes off the board. Super exciting picks. Arizona off the board. $5 footlong. Hopefully it'll be a quick one as well. And it will not. So we're going to have to wait another minute on them unless they join in. You want to update us on any preseason scores over there?
Hmm?
You want to update any preseason scores while we're waiting on slow picks?
Hold on. Well, how slow can you go? Can you go down slow? All right. As for the ever breathtakingly exciting experience known as the NFL preseason gets underway, let me toss out some scores here. Currently, the Colts and the Lions locking up with a score of 26-17. That one is just about done in the fourth quarter. The Eagles and the Jets locking up 24-10. That one's in the third quarter, 8:55 left to go. The Panthers are utterly, completely splatting the Steelers 24-3. That one's just started in the fourth quarter, 14:48 left to go. Chiefs over the Vikings 21-3 in an equally thrilling game. 12:53 left to go with that one, third quarter. Still to come, of course, the Cardinals and Saints game canceled, of course, because of the absolutely horrendous hurricane that is heading towards that region. So that game is just canceled. I don't think postponed. It's canceled.
Yeah, they're not going to make up a preseason game.
Yeah, of course, still to come tomorrow. Packers go up against the Bills, and the Ravens going up against the Washington football team, or as you refer to them, the Turds. The Packers and Bills. Packers and Bills lock up tomorrow 1 p.m. The Ravens and the Turds lock up tomorrow at 6 p.m. And that is the scores as such as they are with the preseason as of.
Oh my god! You son of a bitch! All I have to do is highlight Mason Crosby, and I get a son of a bitch from the couch now. But we're not going to go Mason Crosby. We're going to go with Joey Sly. Got a week 13 bye week, I believe. So I don't have to worry about changing him out for a little while. Yes, the rivetingness of the preseason is on full effect tonight, with all the backups trying to get their last crack at the lineup or at the roster.
As you're all excited and you get everything ready and you sit down and then you realize just how unexciting preseason can be at times. I mean, probably it's better than the Pro Bowl, but depending upon the talent level, yeah.
All right, my draft is complete. Chris's draft is complete. We are down to the final 12 picks. I swear it's almost over for everybody. We are just about at 2 hours and 15 minutes.
Mm-hmm. Oh. I'm surprised you haven't had Brittany go. Are you guys done yet?
Oh, no, she is. She's asking me to help her unlock her suitcase. We've got a new suitcase where you can put the zippers in the lock and put a code in. She can't figure out how to unlock it. So I have to go upstairs when this is done to show her how to push a button up so it'll unlock the zippers.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Was it like a James Bond suitcase or something?
No, it just, you can lock it without having a lock. That's all.
Oh, okay, just as long as you don't put in the wrong number and like it gasses you or something like that. Oh,
no, nothing crazy. All right, so
I think I need a kicker, non-liquored up or otherwise.
Yep, you need a kicker. We have 4 teams, 5 teams with 2 and 2 for kickers and defense. One with 3 defenses. That is just, I don't get the strategy there.
Oh, there's a name that's called Sam Ficken.
Yeah, that's a good one. Let's see. Stay Mahomes, Jacobs, Latavius Murray, Boston Scott. That is not a running back group I'd be happy with.
Mm-hmm.
But they have Chicago, Minnesota, and Arizona as far as defense goes, so their defense will be good pretty much every week. Unfortunately for them, they can only play one.
3
We're at
picks
the-
until I'm done. 3 picks until I'm done.
Yeah,
3.
I can see pick 256 on the horizon, and it'll only be so long until
You can see clearly now the draft is done.
Hayden Hurst. I don't hate that there. Down to the last 8 picks.
You can see the teams. No, that's not going to work.
McManus, Sammy Watkins. There's your week 1 superstar. Sam Ficken to Joel, who is now officially done. 5 picks left.
I'm done. Yay. 2021 drafts are in their books. Yahoo.
Oh, boy. That is just a terrible team. Jalen Hurts, Michael Thomas, Marquez Callaway, Zeke Elliott, James White, Kyle Pitts, TJ Hawkinson, Rob Gronkowski, Noah Fant, Trey Lance, Ty Johnson, Traquan Smith. All 3 wide receivers are from the Saints.
When you do a 10-team draft and a 16-team draft, you're definitely a hallelujah, holy bleep. Where's the Tylenol?
This is absolutely the marathon day of the year for our drafting because this is already 2 hours and 15 minutes plus the over hour on the first one.
Second draft. Second.
Yeah, we did
Golf.
just over an hour the first time. Then this is now 2 hours and 15 minutes with 3 picks to go. I know every time I sit down for this draft, it's going to be long, but it just seems to get longer every single year. Part of that is by design of getting more people that are active. And part of it's just not knowing that auto picks take a full minute and a half for some ungodly reason.
Kansas City wide receiver snap count after 2 drives. Tyreek Hill 14, Demarcus Robinson 11, and Cole Hardman 9, Byron Pringle 1 out of 15 plays.
Interesting. 2 picks left as Zane Gonzalez goes. 2 more picks until this is finally and mercifully all over. But crying, last pick, Donald Parham Jr. goes, and who will be Mr. Irrelevant here? Let's us see. Last pick of the draft was Josh Lambo, which is fine. So with that, we're going to wrap this up real quick. So Flying Ryan with
Tampa Motor Mouth, Joel Verlin.
And yeah, he's there. Anyways, with that,
interesting name. Yeah,
we go.